This is pretty amazing. So, how much do you think a Chinese food feast would have cost in San Francisco in 1943? We actually have the answer to this. We have a menu here that was preserved by the New York Public Library that shows a menu from 1943 from the Forbidden City Chinese food restaurant. It was sort of a club and restaurant in San Francisco, and it shows exactly how much a feast of Chinese food would have cost in that year. So if you see in the middle of the menu, the dinner there, you get relishes, you get egg flour soup, crab foo young, yum young chicken saute, kind of hard to say, sweet and sour spare ribs, and rice. Then you would have gotten fruit ice cream. They had vanilla, lychee, ginger, and assorted cakes. That's all going to have tea and coffee. So quite a big feast there, probably more than I could eat in one sitting. And that cost in 1943 $3. So pretty amazing. And that seems like not that much when you think about, what food costs in San Francisco today. But there's a catch, and that's that obviously there's been a lot of inflation. Wages have gone up a lot since then. So if you actually calculate using the inflation calculator from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, how much that $3 in 1943 would be worth today, it's about $53.99. So actually, that feast of Chinese food was pretty expensive, pretty much what you'd pay probably for a comparable meal in San Francisco today. So eating in San Francisco has always been pricey. There's a couple of reasons, though, historically, why it may have been more expensive than a typical Chinese food meal. One is that this was a fancy club. So, obviously club food is always going to be a bit more expensive. You're paying for the ambiance. The other thing is that this was in the middle of World War II, which was the end, but, while World War II was still raging. And it's possible that shortages drove up the prices. Also, San Francisco was a Navy town, so they may have been increasing their prices because they had sailors out on leave who were looking for a good time and would be willing to pay more for this pricier food. Also, although there's been inflation and wage increases since 1943, the production of food has actually become more industrialized since then. So it's possible that there's been the increase from inflation, but also a decrease from food production being more mechanized. And you can see some things on here like, chicken is very expensive, more expensive than beef, interestingly. Another cool thing, it's not on this menu, but on the accompanying menu, a Manhattan cocktail in 1943 cost 75 cents. So it would be nice to go into a time machine and return to those days. But interestingly, it shows eating out in San Francisco has always been a pricey thing.